In this video, we will cover the arrays class. The arrays class contains many useful methods for manipulating arrays. One has to simply call the method from the arrays class to use it, instead of going through the cumbersome task of writing the method by oneself and then calling the self-made method. The methods in the arrays class are static methods, which means that one has to simply use them with a class name instead of having to instantiate an arrays object. An example of a method found in the arrays class is the binary search method, which allows one to search for a specific element in the array using the binary search algorithm. For more detail about the binary search algorithm, please watch my video explaining it by clicking the link in the description below. Other examples of methods found in the arrays class are the equals method, which checks if two arrays of the same type are equal to each other, the fill method, which fills an array with the repeated instances of a specific value. For example, if we had an integer array called array1, which had 5 positions, we could use the fill method to fill each position with the value 25. And finally, the sort method, which sorts the array into ascending order. Let's move on to an example of the arrays classes method being used in a Java program. We start off by making a class called ArrayDemo. In this class, we have a main method which runs all the code in it. Next, we are going to implement a method called display. The display method will output a string message followed by the elements of an array. As we can see here, the method first prints out the message, then moves to the next line. From this point, a for loop prints out every element in the array with a space between each element. At line 21, a line is then left for neatness. Thereafter, we call the display method. Line 10 prints out whatever elements were contained in the array when it was created on line 9. When this runs, we see that the original array contained 5 zeros, and the array, after using the fill method, contained 5 eights. Thereafter, we replace the value in the array at index 2 and 4 with the numbers 6 and 3 respectively, and then print out the new array on line 15. After this line, the array is sorted on line 16 and printed on line 17. Running the application at this point results in the outputs highlighted below. If you would like to copy the code, you can pause the video at this point. Moving on to another example, we are going to now use the arrays class on an array of char variables. First, we create an array of characters on line 7 called codes. Then we declare 3 variables, a string called entry, a character called usercode, and an integer called position. Thereafter, we use a JOption pane to receive an input from the user and store it in the variable entry. We then store the character at position 0, or the first position of entry, in a variable usercode. At this point, the arrays class binary search method is called on line 22. This takes the character stored in the usercode variable and finds the position of it in the codes array. If the position essentially exists, the program will show a message that tells the user what position the user code is in the codes array. If it does not exist, the program shows a message that alerts the user that the user code is invalid.